Hey guys, let's go change this hardwired garbage disposal. So the first step in replacing a hardwired garbage disposal is to find your utility box where your electricity is hooked up, and then come spot where your disposal and dishwasher for this example is at, and then come over to your breaker, which ours is number 9, and flip that to off. Just like that. After turning off the breaker box to your garbage disposal, you're going to come up and find where you can turn on your garbage disposal. Flip it on. You shouldn't hear any noise, which ours isn't, and then you're all set to replace it. So currently we have the InSinkErator Badger 500 half horsepower, and it's starting to leak from the bottom, so everything we've seen that you need to replace it if it's leaking from the bottom. So this is the hardwired version like I mentioned before. So we are just going to replace it with the InSinkErator Badger 500 again with the half horsepower. We picked it up at our local Home Depot. They're running it for $139 right now as the recording of this video. One thing you want to look out for when you are purchasing this InSinkErator is that there's two different options when it comes to the 500 Badger 500. This one is $139 because it does not come with a power hookup. So since we didn't need it, since we're hardwiring it, you can see it there running down. So it was $5 cheaper. If you need the one that plugs into the wall, it's already pre-wired, so that's another $5, so they're running it for $144. Inside the InSinkErator Badger 500, you're going to get a few different things. So the first thing you're going to see in there is going to be this mounting ring, and then also the sink flange that you put on top. This is one of those steps where you can inspect the one that you have if you already have a garbage disposal installed. The one we have is looking in pretty good shape. I'll show you here in a second. So we're going to just discard this for right now, but this is an option that if you want to replace the whole thing, you can. Also, you're going to get the actual garbage disposal right here. You'll see the hookup for the dishwasher, and then also the hookup that goes into your J water pipe. So then what you're also going to have to do is actually hook up the pipe here, and they give you all the parts to hook that up. Here we're going to hook up the discard tube. So first you're going to locate the tailpipe, then insert the gasket that's provided. It's a rubber gasket that you put in there. After you put the rubber gasket in there nice and tight, you grab the discard tube here. Then you grab the metal flange that's provided. It's going to have 2 screws, holes on each end. You slide that through the discard pipe, put it right to the tailpipe, grab your 2 screws, and go ahead and screw those in tightly, making sure that it's at a 90-degree angle as well. Now we're going to make our way underneath the sink, and we're going to locate the P-trap that's connected to the existing garbage disposal. You're going to loosen that nut that's connected to the P-trap and also the garbage disposal. And as you loosen it, some water might leak out, so you might want to have a towel underneath you. Once you have the discard tube from the garbage disposal disconnected and the P-trap, you're going to grab your wrenchet that's supplied with your new garbage disposal. You're going to hook it up to underneath, and you're going to slide to the left to make the garbage disposal unhook. Once you have the garbage disposal loosened enough to the left, it's going to fall off the mounting ring. Now you're going to lay the garbage disposal on its side, and you're going to remove the electrical cover. It's a metal cover on the bottom of the garbage disposal. Once you have that removed, you're going to pull all the electrical wires out. There should be a blue wire, a white wire, and a plain copper wire that's going to be your ground wire inside the casing of the garbage disposal. Once you have pulled all the wires out of the casing, you're going to proceed to disconnect each of the wires one at a time. I started here with the white wire, untangling those from the wire nut, spreading them apart even though the power is off. Then I proceeded to the blue wire, unscrewing the wire nut as well. The hot wire inside of the garbage disposal is black, and the one that hooks up to the home is blue. So what I did here was grabbed a Sharpie marker, painted the blue hot wire with a black Sharpie just so I didn't forget when I went to hook them up together with the new garbage disposal. Now I proceeded to unhook the copper ground wire from the old garbage disposal. As I'm doing this, I'm just using a Phillips screwdriver to unhook it from the green nut that's within the unit. After finally getting all the wires unhooked, I proceeded to unfeed the wires that connected to the electricity from the home, as you see here. Keeping them separate just to make sure that if there was a short in the electrical box that it didn't spark. Here you'll see the wire nuts that we removed from the old unit. They are pretty nasty and pretty rusty. They look like they got some water in them when the old garbage disposal leaked. So we decided to get some new wire nuts and that are nice and clean that will be able to last the whole life of the unit. Here I'm running a cable connector through the power cords. This part will be connected to the garbage disposal here in a few moments. But before we connect it to the garbage disposal, I'm going to hold it there, and then I'm going to feed the power cords into the garbage disposal so we can hook up the wiring. Feeding the wires is a little more difficult than what it looks on this video, but once you do get the electrical wires threaded through the new garbage disposal, you're going to proceed in tightening on the cable connector to the new garbage disposal unit. First cord you're going to hook up to your new garbage disposal is going to be the copper ground wire. So that's what I'm doing here, is loosening up that green nut that's within the unit, and then you're going to coil the ground copper wire around it and then tighten that bolt back up. I know it's going to be a little difficult to see here but with my hands in the way. But first you're going to grab that black and blue wire that we had previously, and you're going to tie those together with the wire nut, and those are going to be your hot cords. Once you get those twirled together, grab your wire nut and twist that on. Then you're going to proceed, and make sure it's tight. Then you're going to proceed over to the white wires, do the same thing there. Once you have the wire nuts tightly on both the black and blue and the white wires, you're going to sneak those back into the garbage disposal unit. Now that the wires are back within the unit, you're going to grab the metal plate that we removed prior to cover up those wires, and you're going to re-secure that metal plate with the screw that we took off. Once the wiring is done, you're ready to reconnect the garbage disposal to the sink. For this part, you might need an extra pair of eyes and hands. You'll see my wife's hand helping me. We guided it into the upper connector, and then I grabbed the ratchet one more time and twisted it to the right this time to lock it into place. Grab the body of the garbage disposal so that the discard tube lines up with the P-trap. After connecting the P-trap to the discharge tube, run water to check for leaks. Since there were no leaks, we turned the breaker back on so we could test our new disposal with cold water running through it.